everybody, and welcome to a huge episode.
I know we didn't script that because, like everything else, we don't do that. That's it, boy. Hi, everybody. So, we're here with a ridiculous amount of people. This is what the biggest show ever.
This is the biggest LTW show. Well, we're not going to make this like Blues, bro. Come on, this has to be a musical.
This will not be a musical. I've heard some of these people saying we will not be doing that. Before we get started, I usually do these shout outs at the beginning because I always forget at the end. Quick shout outs to Peter, I gotta remember later, Vape Shop, who's been handing out and promoting our show. I will get more information later.
Speaking of Vape Shop, a shout out to Garden State Vape Babies.
Yeah.
Hi, Greg. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Shout out to King'sRhinoBrand.com. Thanks to Mint. Thanks to one who makes a lot of our designs here.
I said
Shout out. All right.
Real quick to my daughter's marching band. They're actually going to Syracuse Halloween weekend to compete nationally. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Standalone Wrestling for always being a team player and always promoting LTW stuff.
Yeah.
And another congrats on your huge show, The Big Bang.
Yeah, so
Standalone Wrestling, The Big Bang. Matt, you were there. Matt had the pleasure of doing sound there. Phenomenal show. I think they got like was of 1,000 heads. 1,000 heads.
Which brings me to a point. One of the many I'd like to make, as long as we stop doing this pregame stuff for the show. One thing, where is the love and support for the indie scene from the fans? You see it on the internet all the time. They talk about how their indie darlings aren't making it in the WWE or AEW, how they're not being used, right? But yet, these people aren't all buying tickets showing love for the current indie scene. Has something changed? We have enough people. Let's get some opinions. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't changed. It's just people just like to hear themselves talk.
Sorry. What about you? What about you, young boy?
Fall asleep.
He's sitting next to me. Do you feel independent? Well, you're more the modern era. Has the modern fan just stopped caring about independent wrestling, or is it that what's going on? Come on.
Me, I think it's prophesy.
Okay, you stop caring. Miss Fran, you're usually the logical one of this group. Sorry. What do you think?
What was the question?
It's okay.
I remember it.
The question is, you see a lot of these fans complaining about how the indie guys aren't making it with WWE, AEW, but yet they're not really showing the love for the current product really out there. Is it because has the product changed so much? Do they just not care anymore?
I feel it's not that they just don't care anymore. It's just the mainstream has changed, and like the indie scene hasn't really like trying to get to what they're doing. You know what I mean?
I do actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I get what she's basically saying. A lot of the independents are trying to be mainstream. They're trying to be like the big guys. But
Yeah.
in itself, that's a major pet peeve of mine because this is the whole thing trying to be different. I mean, I can do this. Raise your hand if you've been on a show that has copied the WWE style.
Hello.
Raise your hand, no? Raise your hand.
You can all pretty much say that.
Yeah, we can all say that.
Let me tell you the fact. I think a lot of the people who tune to our show and a lot of the people who watch us all know that we all wrestle for Jesus. Yes, we all participated on the show at least once here, and Grim's prime example. He models it stuff after WWE.
But so to me,
But that makes fun of it more.
yeah, that's a good point. He tends to make
Parodies it, yeah.
he parodies it, but
Crown Jewel, Crown Jewel.
yeah, exactly. But now, when you talk about all these independent companies saying, "Oh, we're different," but they copy the formula.
It's WWE sets the standard for what wrestling is today.
Sorry. Okay, once again, we're dipping into my age. Shut up. We're dipping into my age. I grew up, wrestling was a sport.
It is a sport, 100%.
Yes, but the tagline of entertainment that's attached to it, because a lot when me and
No.
which one are you today? Hi, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Okay. When me and Jeremiah laid out some footwork. We gave out flyers, really promoting the show.
Right.
A lot of what I got said by people were they used to be fans, but then when wrestling changed, they stopped watching. And what was out there, WWE changed a lot of people's perception of wrestling to where a lot of people like it. Now, is it the smart thing to copy that? If WWE is pretty much what's making everyone turned off to wrestling, do you really want to copy that? Yeah, copy it.
It really depends. I mean, it depends on what your flavor is. It depends on what you're going for as a promotion. Like that's what makes independent wrestling so much better than mainstream like WWE or AEW is because in independent wrestling, so many promotions have different ways of doing things, different flavors, different characters, different storylines. Like, I mean, what's great also the segue off that is also there's a lot of all women promotions out there now, which is amazing because women wrestlers are amazing.
Yeah.
They set new standards. It's phenomenal.
Shout out to Stardom.
Exactly.
Like, who doesn't want a star for a belt, bro? Like, do you know how many men actually want that?
What?
Rex,
why?
Shut up.
Why?
No, but to touch on something that they said on a serious note,
trying to touch things.
listen,
Yeah.
to touch on something you said, I honestly don't think like even Olympic wrestling or collegiate wrestling gets the love it really deserves or anything like that.
No.
Even anymore.
No, it's 100%.
Like back in the day, like in the 80s, it was hugely respected.
Exactly.
But now it's not even. It's just looked upon as the same category of WWE and stuff like that.
No, he actually makes an excellent point because I remember reading at one point the Olympics was looking to get rid of wrestling as something to watch or something to participate in. And I remember it was a female wrestler who was going to the Olympics. She said, if they do that, our only stop is wrestling. And no one wants, and as a female, she doesn't want to go to WWE. Because at the time, it was just a joke.
Yep.
So now you're saying the independent scene has all these flavors. What can, now a lot of people here, what can, now independent wrestling, you got your hardcore companies, you got your companies that try to copy the Japanese, you got your companies that try to copy Mexico. What do they have to do? What has to happen for more of these indie companies to really get that love push? You know, we got a couple of guys been around here a minute.
I'm just going to say one of the companies that plays a major factor in everything. It's money. Money.
Yep.
What are your fans?
But I'm saying, what do we got to do to get the fans interested in the company? Like, we can,
Yeah,
go ahead.
exposure as well.
That's true. Because, like, if you look at, I'm going to use LTW. One, because we're awesome. You look at our card, top to bottom. It's a stacked card that you can put on anywhere. It's a fantastic show. So many companies can do that. It's just how do we get the fans back to coming back to watching indie shows? You know, because without independent shows, the big guys, they got nothing.
Honestly, the value frequently is the value of marketing. You got to have a good marketing. You got to have guys out there that want to get their faces out there. For, as we call them, as we call all our guys are core members, core guys who believe in the brand. You got to have guys that believe in the brand, believe in what you're doing, then they're gonna have to trust this brand to put them to that next level.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the room,
Not me.
not you, in the room, you're the young guys. You're out there you got to put the feet to the street, trying to get the word out. Is it harder to talk to fans now? For some of you who've been in there for a few years, is it harder to talk to fans now than, let's say, 2 years ago about this?
Yes.
Is it harder to get people interested? Like,
I'll definitely agree with that one.
Absolutely. It's harder every year.
yeah,
That's one, people are always thinking someone's trying to scam you and beat you for your money. That's one big problem right there. Everyone has a catch, everyone has a hook, someone had, and a lot of times social media has it's a double-edged sword. So sometimes it can help bring in the people that want to support you, but also it'll bring in people who just want to get a rub and promote themselves.
And also people just wanting something to do because they have nothing to do.
mm-hmm. So I have next to me, really LTW, like 3 of LTW's like new, he just, Eric just made his comeback. We have Jeremiah stepping in. We have Angelus, who guys are kind of new. Is there? You're kind of new here, so you're seeing things with a fresh face. What is it when you talk to fans? You guys are, I would say, part of the modern wrestling era. What is it when you talk to fans? Is it like, is there that vibe that wrestling's still like the fun thing to watch, or is it you kind of have to like, back in the day when we were fans, almost hide it now? Is it? Do you feel like it's getting back to you have to kind of hide it, or is it still something you can talk about without people on the swing?
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
Yeah, like people look at me. Well, I can't blame them for looking at me and shame, but like when I tell them I'm a wrestler, they're like, "Oh, cool." They just don't understand.
Where you at? Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. It's like people would just look like, okay, wrestling, and what do you mean? I don't know. Have a good time. They just like, no, it's all fake anyway. What's the point?
Yeah,
I
right.
hate when mortals use that. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Ryan, you're part of the modern wrestling era. You understand the wrestling fan. Are you feeling that same way too? It's kind of like wrestling used to be fun to talk about. Now you're kind of like hiding it almost, or do you still like open and say, "Yeah, I'm a fan"?
Both. It's hard to talk about it. A lot of people have different opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about that F word. If you're a fan or person who doesn't get wrestling, don't say that. Maybe not nowadays, but back in the day, that would have gotten you wrecked.
That's Dr. D. Dave Schultz.
Or those stories about Haku. Yeah, they have broken people for saying what they do is fake. Because you ask anyone here, wrestling, how many times have they had to go to the hospital? How many times have they had to visit their doctor for treating injuries? And ready, it's not because something wrong happened. It's the day-to-day of what you do to your body. So when I hear the word fake, I shouldn't, but it makes me want to deck a person in the face to prove a point. See?
Injuries on my body.
Remember when Hulk Hogan choked out Richard Belzer?
What?
Greg,
You're too
I'm
young
not
for that.
say this again.
I've been asking my
That was funny. I just dropped to the ground. He's a bomb. Trax, come on, you know you.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
I mean, yeah, I mean, what were you saying about the wrestling? What are you saying?
How back in the day, you would have told a wrestler what he was doing was fake.
Yeah, no.
You would have gotten wrecked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's,
Dr.
yeah.
D.
I hate when they say wrestling's fake because no, a lot of it's not fake.
Because when you think of it, ready? All right, I'm a big football guy. I love football. What's up?
When we put our bodies on the line to entertain people,
Mm-hmm.
this is not fake. This is real.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
I with football, I compare wrestling to football because when you do the math, it's almost the same equivalent of the impact. A lot of the high impact, but wrestlers don't have an off season. Like friend, you're in high demand, so you're probably working almost every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend. Same thing with Ace. Like if you're in high demand, you're working 2 or 3 times a weekend.
It hurts.
Yeah.
I'm paying a lot of time, and I have to get up Monday morning at
Hold on a
6
minute.
a.m.
You're in pain all the time. How old are you?
I'm only 26. I'm
26.
in pain all the time.
26. How old are you?
I'm only 18.
18.
I don't feel pain as much, but
You still feel like you get up, yeah.
I'm
All right.
27, and I've been mutilating my body for 4 years.
I'm
Okay.
not super messed up because I stretch a lot.
Yeah, no, see, okay, you take care of yourself. So on this group, how many people here are under 30? You're under 30?
oh, what?
I can't see your hand.
All right.
So you guys are constantly wrestling, working out in the business. How many? Can I ask you? Do you guys have less days without pain or more days without pain? Like you wake up in the morning, you're just like, oh, I can still feel that.
It depends.
It's gotten more and more for me. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and
5.
5.
5.
You also pull your giving break.
Yeah, remember I did put him to a table not that long.
See?
December 29th, it'll be 5.
Okay, so that's 5 years.
Almost 5. Yeah. 4 going on 5 years. This it catches up.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like, I'll tell you what, when I got into this business, I was only like above 30. I was throwing around like a rag doll. And after doing the hardcore stuff for literally like 2-3 years straight, and just, it catches up. Like, I'm only 27 and I'm hurting at least 4 days out of the week just because my back, I can't stretch the proper way because I've just mutilated it. Like, people have hurt their hands punching me in the back, and it just feels like a massage. Like, I can't describe it. Somebody cracked their knuckle punching me in the back. Yeah. Like,
You should see somebody about
I
that.
should.
I
But
just-
it's no joke.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like, I'm sorry to get so loud, and I'm sorry to get passionate about it because it's like, I get I'm the dullest tool in this shed, but I love this sport and what we do. Everybody clap for me.
I'm gonna take a drink for you. How about that?
And we all just take time to acknowledge we have Meat Missile in the corner here.
Yeah. Now everybody clap.
That's his name. I heard his old guy.
Who thought his name was Meat Torpedo? Well, that was Behemoth.
I never met, like I met him for the first time there because like, it's Meat Missile. I'm like, oh, really? This is happening going around here. So, sir, you've come back to yes, I understand it after being nuts. Where are we?
LTW. LTW.
I really need to stop bringing in. All right, LTW.
That's back.
Yeah. So how you feel like being back? Or things? You feel like things are heading in a much better direction from when you left, or it's about the same?
I think it's going in a better direction.
Yeah.
Better than past.
Yeah. You're like one of the OGs, originals there. So, how much was it? A lot of fun. Was he always like this serious?
I didn't know Dave would be serious.
Oh, I do.
Unless he was punch you in the face.
Yeah.
But no, like you were around back in the day. Like, how much has changed since you've been here? So from then,
Tommy's an LTW OG.
yeah. So what was it like? Like, what's changed besides the people?
I don't really like it, but I feel like it's still the great day. And I go home.
Your Honor, you're leading the witness.
I was trying. You told me what?
We were in a courtroom, you'd be in so much trouble.
We wouldn't be going home. Look, we already had a jury. A trial earlier today.
We had a draw.
Yes,
That's a draw.
I had to give it a drop. I received 13 left. I received 13 left.
Listen, we ain't talking about what you did before you got here.
That's only 5.
I'm trying to keep it wrestling. You
They're trying to fight
I
me.
thought about Meat Missile returning.
I was saying Meat Missile was here,
And then somehow we ended up in Judge Judy. There's a jury.
There's a jury of your peers. I do not see anyone who wears
Wait,
that.
where's Judge Judy?
I'm letting you
I'm
guys
on each your
know
hard.
right now that Check Lady and Check Lady will start helping you with Danny.
Yo, when are they gonna start throwing their skateboards out?
Why?
Just know
I'm Lee. This is Ace. That's couch number 1. That's couch number 2.
You want to shoot interview? You want to talk to shoot interview?
You want to sit, Tom?
So,
Do it.
Meat Missile's real name is Tommy, and he's been an OG here at LTW. He's come a long way. He works at a very successful restaurant. What's that restaurant called?
I'm not yet. No name is cafe.
And what's that cafe? What's it about? Like,
For people that can't get a job because they have intellectual disabilities.
There you go, Tommy. And Tommy was also featured in the newspapers for being one of those hard workers there. He's like a leader there, guys. You know, that's amazing in my book. This guy came a long way. He came from not knowing. He knew about the business, but he didn't know about the business. And I'm telling you, this guy's been through hell and back. I'm gonna. You mind if I get a little personal?
Yes, that's fine.
So, LTW paid tribute to Tommy's mom. His mom passed away. So, Adrenaline Rush 2.0, we had a nice tribute to his mom. And Tommy's basically a staple in this promotion. And we're very thankful to have him. We're happy to have him back. So, thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Segue. Here's one segue for everyone. It's
What's wrong with it?
You're an idiot. With broken back.
I broke my back.
he broke his back.
Segue.
Segue is, why does wrestling not, when we do something positive, like something like that,
Yes.
it's never in the paper. It's never talked about. WWE does tribute for the troops. You never hear word one in the paper. But when we mess up,
That's a little.
when we do something terrible, oh, you guys are the worst human beings. But we don't hear no love about the thing. And they are like really yelling in the kitchen.
I'm nervous.
What?
What? All right, anyways. No, but let me explain. Let me the top of my mind is that what pisses me off is that you're right. We don't hear about the good things that a lot of independent organizations do for people.
Mhm.
You know, just by all the thing we see is like some flyers for the show and whatnot. But we never hear talked about like the dirt sheets or whatever.
Exactly.
They're so focused on the negative stuff that happens with wrestling. I honestly, I think that's one main reason that turns a lot of things off.
Yeah.
Hey, great. You know?
Because we have, we do something like you guys did something great for Tommy and his family. Nothing. But yet, let's say a wrestler gets involved in a fist fight or something, it's going to be all over the news. No one's talking about, another thing too. People, there's more than just the two big ones out there that you can watch. because they're talking about the women's revolution or evolution.
Yeah.
That was going on in other countries way before it got here.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden it's the big deal because you're caught up. Sorry, it's kicking in, so I think we're gonna change gears here.
Yeah, looks like we're at the have a visit with someone else.
Yeah, that. All right, but now pet peeves. We all got them. When it comes to this business we love so much. We got young guys, not the ones here. Not yet.
We're only asking for one word answer.
Yes, one word answers. Here we go. Here we go. We say this a lot. He and I talk about this a lot. The younger generation of wrestlers, do they appreciate what the people did before them?
No.
Damn. Didn't even have to go around the room.
Some.
No.
All right. So,
Wait, what was the question?
do the younger guys now appreciate like in our case, we're wrestlers of color. Do the people around, do the young wrestlers of color appreciate the doors that, let's say, Eddie Guerrero or Rocky Johnson, those guys opened, those guys opened for us to be able to do this without any problems. Do they appreciate what the wrestlers, do they just not care? They just come in, and because they can come in without blinking, do they not really care?
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Some of us give a damn. Majority of them, they don't.
Most of the ones who appreciate what has been done were once trained, taught to appreciate it.
You know whose voice I haven't heard today? Mello. What up, homie? You haven't been talking? You're around. No. We ain't. No. Hold up. You too. You too. You're young.
How you gonna be on the radio? Going to talk.
Okay, so you're around people. Do you feel younger wrestlers appreciate the doors opened by other wrestlers, be it wrestlers of color, be it female wrestlers, in general, open them doors so they just don't care. They're just walking up. It's fine. It's mine.
Most of them.
Most of
There's
them.
some that really want that.
But they show that love? Do they show respect to the history? Or they just don't care.
If they want it enough, they do.
All right.
If they come in with it,
Right.
they don't stay,
No.
break
No,
down, set up.
Mm-hmm.
They just come through the match and leave. That means that you don't care about it. You care about it.
What about you, Mr. Ace? Don't know. That's fine.
Somebody asked me a question here. I'm waiting for you guys.
No. I got another question because you're giggling at me,
So,
bro.
but this I would say this goes. How many of you guys have been wrestling for 5 years or more? Yeah. 1, 2,
All of us
3,
except
4, 5,
youngest.
6. Yeah. So this person asked me, Ace Marksman, you're indeed one of the most proficient human beings with a very outgoing mindset. How does an individual like you continue to pour your body and to put your body on the line for so many years in wrestling? Now, here's my answer to that. I can't speak for you guys. This is a good question for everybody here. My reason is because when I go out there, not just my son Daniel won't let me stop. But when I go out there and I see an older gentleman, you know what I mean, or young kids smile and are still reaching out for me when I'm in that Hogan Warrior sleeper spot.
Yeah.
And they get so invested. And you see them get so invested. And I'm like, man, this is why I do it. This is really why I do it. Because I'm telling my own story and they're listening and watching. That's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, same thing. Like the fans really can get you.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I have two avenues. It's the fans. It's like, dang, they really love this. I love this. Love my job. It's not really a job because I love doing it. And of course, my brother took me from the murder, gun violence. Other than that, it's just something about being in the ring or being around the fans that will always keep me in wrestling. I even tried to escape wrestling. It's like that.
Yeah.
So for me, honestly, is one showing that there's outlets out in this world that you can utilize, express, and also find a niche in your life to really bring you together. For me personally, I grew up without a family, and with wrestling, I've developed and grown a habit. So there's people I know will care about my existence, people who will look out for me in my time of need. Now, even bicker with me when I do things they don't agree with, like a family would. So that's one of the things that help me continue to push, and also hope. My dream is to hopefully leave a legacy for my future children if they want to do, see wrestling as a venue or as a career option or anything like that.
Alright. I think the general consensus is once you're out there, the fans really just, whether they're booing you or cheering you, fans really just get you amped up and going. I know one guy told me once he was having probably one of the rough spots of life. He got out to the ring, he jumped on the ropes, he screamed, and the fans screamed back. He was done. He was into it. He was all right. So guys in the business, guys and girls in the business who do this, they do it, like they get that adrenaline kick when they're in the ring and they get cheered on. The fans are like screaming and they get it. Of course, when you go home the next day, you're like, let's do this again. And then the next day you go back.
Weekend you're there.
Yeah, you're like, son of a bitch, I'm here again.
But Hayabusa the second, that was a great question.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
really enjoyed it.
See, when we get really nice, good questions, it's fun. When you say, well, this guy sucks, that doesn't help us at all. We might agree with you, but that's not really.
Why does he suck?
Yeah.
I think that's why we stopped saying anything. Well, see, we just got called GTS is better. LTW sucks.
Yeah, after a while, I'm just like, that's great. Your question was what? Yes, you can use the phone. Sorry, that's mean. I shouldn't say things like that.
But
You're mortal. All right, so
prove that you're into this. Who, because we all grew up on WWE, Who in that brand made you want to do this?
Austin.
Not you, Greg. I already know you. Angelus.
I'll have to say it was both Brothers of Destruction and yes.
Airjet.
My was
I'll metal think your style. Very much.
For many reasons, why well, join wrestling, but real reason why I joined. My own grandmother. I saw dream and
Who in that brand?
who inspired you?
Yeah.
what inspires me? Honestly, I would say Undertaker or even like Edge.
Frankie Marinara.
With us, brother?
Who inspired you? Rock.
Francesca.
Francesca.
You want just girls?
No,
What inspired you?
Well, the first career girls then. Lita, Mickey James, Trish Stratus,
Rudy Staple.
There you go.
Ring Series.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Who? Mankind.
Mm.
He inspired me the most. That's why I wanted to do the hardcore divisions. And Bruno Sammartino.
Wow.
He was the one who got me into collegiate and wrestling and showmanship in professional wrestling. And the last but not least, the great Dean Malenko. Yeah. Those were my top three.
Dean Malenko was ranked #1 best wrestler in the world without ever holding the world title.
Yep.
Without ever holding the big belt, he was always considered one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yep.
Mr. Tommy?
Well,
Ooh, hell yeah.
Matt Wolf.
You already know my answer.
I don't.
Well, the pants don't.
Jerk.
Yeah.
You want to be bad.
I've been around the business.
Amen. I do love them.
I miss them. I'm staying in it.
Mr. Ryan.
John Cena.
No.
Oh, Cena bot.
Sorry.
I do have,
Who you got, Greg? Who you got, Greg?
Mikey Whipwreck.
I actually got to meet him. He's an awesome.
He followed me on Twitter because we both got cracked over the head with a Nintendo item. He got cracked with an actual Nintendo, but I got cracked with a GameCube GTS.
I look at you like you're gonna tell me this isn't the real story, but then you just go, no, it's the truth.
With such defeat.
Yeah. What about me? What got me into wrestling? Honestly, no. The who? Because growing up, I'm dating myself. When I was growing up, there weren't many wrestlers that looked like me, and I was, believe it or not, a very small child. They actually thought I was never going to grow. So I got into the Wild Samoans because they were the only people on TV that looked like I did.
Yep.
And then people like, I watched the Blue Blazer, or I watched these smaller wrestlers who were out there doing their thing. I wasn't a Hulk Hogan guy, nor was I an Ultimate Warrior guy. Thank God. I was into small. And as I got older and more invested in the business, my biggest inspiration came from Eddie Guerrero. Because he was a small guy. He was a small guy, but he was a Latin wrestler who went out there and just wrestled. And I'll bring into a brief story. There were years ago, before I stopped wrestling and just stuck to the background stuff, I was with a promotion, and I don't know if anyone can, maybe you might attest to this. The guy wanted me to be a stereotype. Yep. And when I told him no, he was like, "But isn't that your thing?" I said, "No, I happen to be I'm a Spanish wrestler, Latino guy, but I don't talk like those guys you see on TV." And has there ever been a time, let me answer the room, that you've been put in a position to play a character you were not comfortable with playing? Okay, because guess what? We gonna go around the room.
Before we go on with that, Lee is correct. Lee loves Eddie Guerrero. This man can do frog splash.
You'll be huge.
Huge.
So shut up. You're short. But no. All right, so we're going around.
Party.
Franny broke. All right, so we're gonna go around.
No, let Franny go first. She broke first.
All right, Franny.
Oh, great.
What character or gimmick did someone try to say for you to do that you were not cool with? Come on, Franny. You're dying on me, girl. Let's go.
Well, the first one that I thought of was I was asked to be a Japanese translator.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I gotta ask. Do you speak Japanese?
No, I just had a dress and I could do my hair.
I filmed that match, unfortunately.
Okay.
I filmed that match.
I feel like there's more.
That was it.
That was the only one?
That was actually GTS, just all the
Just
time.
Rabbit?
Oh,
No, just for
You're
Just
not
Rabbit.
really, you know.
Towards the end, I had to wear like an Overwatch costume suit for a while.
Yeah, for just Rabbit.
Yeah, and they called me Francesca Rabbit.
I don't get it, but
there are things I guess you have to see.
I saw that.
It was fine in the beginning because it was winter, so I was warm. And then it got towards summer, and I was like, if I just cut this up a little bit, they won't ask me to wear it.
Oh,
And
wow.
then it just got too hot.
I get it. All right.
Unfortunately, I was there for the translate.
Was it bad?
It was just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It wasn't like he was the.
He was the ninja.
Whoa! You just said you were translating. You say nothing about being no ninja.
No, I wasn't the ninja. I was
She
with
was
the
the ninja against Rob Flynn.
She was with the ninja. Did the ninja speak Japanese?
Yes,
No.
kind of.
I know, and Rob Fury, when it's, she is.
I have so many things to say about that, but I won't.
It's on my, it's even on my YouTube.
I will watch this now.
Oh,
Mr. Cooper.
unfortunately.
Dude, she Japanese. I'm sorry, who Japanese?
Remember that show hanging with Mr. Cooper?
I have to stop. Mr. Cooper, were you ever asked to play a character that you just did not felt right playing?
Oh yeah.
I gotta hear this one.
So I was a racist redneck in South Carolina.
For those of you I've hung out with,
Don't do yourself in a horse movie on.
I mean, he's a redneck.
Look.
He a racist. But he's a redneck.
I don't have the fancy for my sister. We're my first cousin. I don't drive a lifted pickup truck. I am far from a redneck. I just happen to look like a biker.
Okay.
Suburban redneck.
All right, so you did not want to.
All these witnesses right now. What do you think the first time Matt Wolf got killed with? Where's my knife?
You ain't a redneck. You ain't a redneck, but you got a knife.
Switchblade, does that count?
Oh, damn. All right, so this character clearly you had a problem with.
Immensely, especially because one, my family's very diverse. I highly encourage immense amounts of diversity in all aspects. Especially because I was unfortunately brought up very racist parents. And I did not want to incorporate that type of existence in any form of my in-range and personal life. Because as far as I'm concerned, it always comes down to how you respect me and how I respect you. It should not be based on simply your skin tone.
Wrestling with that stuff and politics, all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's really stupid.
And
Yeah.
it hurts people more in the long run than no one realizes. Ask Cody.
Why don't you ask Triple H?
Oh, we don't talk about that.
Oh, you
Well,
got
what about
He
you?
said that Booker should have won, and Booker's the only one that's saying that he should have.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah, Tom,
because
all right, hold on, hold on.
like you.
Tommy, what have you ever been put in a position where you didn't want to play a particular character?
Yeah, GPS when I had to buy that 12-year-old kid costume. Hey,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I'm getting a lot of
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I remember
What
that.
now?
Rocket.
Rocket Raccoon.
I was Rocket Raccoon.
But the costume was a kid for kid size. Like,
Oh my God.
That
two
was
size, really small. And
Grim, if you're watching, we need to talk about some decisions you've made in your life.
yeah.
All right, Matt Wolf, have you ever had to, besides play certain music that's just awful, but have you ever had, don't get mad at me. Have you ever had being in the ring or being around the ring, have you, maybe even witnessed where you see someone just like, no. Yep. Have you seen someone have to be put in a spot where they just didn't want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elaborate.
Yeah, being put into a gay character with her fail.
Yeah, well, that's,
Onward.
Because
wait, is she, oh man, Franny's just throwing people on the bus right now. No, I'm just listening to Franny. She's like, on where? I'm like, ooh, this is going to be catchy.
and then it led to some kind of choppy, it was all really weird.
Oh, we don't talk about that. That's enough.
Let's go with that. Back on his episode.
No, don't. I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
Ryan, I'm sure you've seen or heard from anybody. I swear to God. Have you heard? No, I won't chop nobody. But have you ever heard or seen a story like that? Where you've seen someone put in an uncomfortable spot that you know of?
Oh man, that's
Is it from the same company?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I gotta hear this. I use my one F bomb. Let's go, Franny. Let's go. Well done. Right back to her.
Probably, yeah. I'm sorry.
Slender chick.
Wonder Chick.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
What?
I knew that was you.
Wait.
Wait till I read
No. Hold on. Time.
I think my
Say what?
Costume, but
With
I had a
hair,
wig on.
with hair, blonde hair, with blonde hair.
The only one getting overly hyped about this right now
It's the GTS band.
No, it's funny. That's horrible. I know it's so stupid.
Okay, now I need to know.
This is stupid.
No. I need to know
These are terrible ideas.
the story behind
It was just a Halloween episode.
It was those stages, like the horror things.
Okay, because you've been giggling to yourself this whole time, Mr. Marston.
I think he was.
Let's go.
He was in
Besides of what you've seen, because we ain't gonna get into that.
Oh.
It's gonna get late in the show, and Ryan feels brave.
Brian, how much do you love that title right
You're sitting around a home full of
I
people.
was hot with it a little bit.
No.
Baking Corbin. I was baking Corbin.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
GTS! Dude, I should have made it a game. Every time you say GTS, you gotta take a shot.
I was real. No, it's real. The only thing good that came out of being that character was I had the privilege, and thanks to Grim, but I had the privilege to be an official Ghostbusters fan.
Huh.
That's pretty cool.
That's cute. That's nice. But the fuck you're still bacon.
Isn't that amazing? Like Japanese on steroids?
Okay, RJ, have you ever been asked to play a character you weren't comfortable playing?
Yeah, actually.
I'm still young. Angelus, have you ever been asked to play a character you didn't want? If you say GTS, I'm
No.
Oh, thank God.
This story comes from a company called Hood Style.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Boom!
Mic drop.
Go on, darling.
They wanted me. One second. Person wanted me to
Get it.
be a gay man. And I don't mean a vampire that's just like, I'm gay. No, I mean, let me suck your blood. Yeah. And then it was the things he wanted me to say that was just like,
Oh, God.
no.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. Sorry, I'm playing Game Boy on my phone. Time out. Wait, no, wait.
Mhm.
Time out.
Mm-hmm.
Flag on the play.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the case of some people, flag. A gay vampire. An over-the-top gay vampire. At Hood style wrestling.
All because my name was
Wow.
Because your name was Angel.
the gay a gay vampire with a soul.
With the soul.
With a soul.
What are you really on, puppy?
All right.
What?
Puppy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what he really was from Buffy.
I know.
And he's the only vampire with soul.
That-
The difference was he was not gay. And then
You said no, but you said no.
I said it a bit more emphatically. It wasn't just no. It was a lot of curse words. No. But yeah, that character never seen the light of day. Then there was, of course, somebody wanted to marry my wife on camera. And it was like, okay, as long as I get to interrupt before your kids, no, you're going to get kissed. Well, then that's yep. Damn, I will kill you.
Okay.
Ain't gonna blame my brother for that either.
It's okay. I got a special layer of in hell, you know.
We got some good people. We got Batsu.
Hey.
Watching
Woo!
Everest is watching.
Why not giving you back your title?
Dalton is watching.
Yeah. Please stop.
You're angry.
I've been.
He's really angry since he won that belt.
Yeah.
Top him down. He's so
There's no proof or witnesses to this.
I've been in a situation.
All right, Greg, have you ever been asked to play a character or gimmick that you were not totally comfortable with?
Absolutely. DJ.
All right. I want
I remember
that picture. I want that. Send it to me, please. Send it to me. No. When I'm done playing with it, it'll look amazing. I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead. Right. You gotta play around. Yeah. What's wrong with being around?
It's not big.
You'd rather be wrestling than. Well, okay, I can understand.
I'm not a good rep. I don't like being the guy to enforce the rules because I hate rules. If that makes sense.
No, it totally does. Now,
Like, I just don't feel comfortable. Like I can't even be like a character.
I got you. It's not a famous show. Now, Jeremiah, have you ever had to play a gimmick or be in part of something you were not comfortable with? Stop twitching. You see him? Did you think he's twitching over here? What did you do to that?
He has too much caffeine.
I love how he's sitting next to his friend RJ though. Jeremiah was really RJ.
We don't call it stalking, we call it enthusiastic following.
That's why I keep Drax at a distance.
Yeah. No, you'll learn how to do it. Trust me.
That sounded horrible.
These are things we don't want on camera.
Stay away from Drax. One down, feature fight.
Real quick, go to Frankie. Frankie, you didn't answer the question. You just stared at me and switched.
For a sec.
Thanks, Ron.
19 hours.
Stop thinking.
We got about. Okay.
You're 12 years old. Frankie, have you ever been in that spot?
Yes.
I love the yes, and then
No.
there.
No.
I was actually my first ever gimmick when I broke into the business in 1 hour. Gimmick, and I wasn't all that comfortable with it. But I ran with it because I'm professional.
Okay.
And, obviously.
Jeremiah, you finally got one?
Honestly, I have no specific preference.
All right, good. Wait, you eat for me 5 times to say that?
I'm a 12-year-old. How about that?
You are. I hung out with you. Don't ever talk to him for a long period of time. It gets scary. All right, so we're going to do a rundown of Feast or Fire. This is Feast or Fight.
What fire are you talking about?
I'm
I'm gonna
hungry.
light myself on fire at the show.
No, you're not. Because I said so. Okay, so we usually do the rundown of the show, and we usually vote on who we think's going to win. Clearly, we're going to have some biased opinions.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's all funny because I love to see this watch. And then H and I have standing bet. The loser has to pay for the tab. So,
So first, the tag team championship match between Money Fighting and Tyrant.
Ooh.
We got
I'm sorry.
Tyrant.
Fire.
all right.
Fire.
Oh,
You're just being obstinate. You're just trying to cause a fight.
I'm also
That is all you're trying to do.
All right. I'm going to go with Money Fighting. We got
See, he's doing it as genuine. You're just doing it to fight somebody.
Look, Tyrant or two giant men.
Tyrant or Money Fighting. No extra explanation needed. Pick a name, homie. Tyrant or Money Fighting.
I'm just gonna be a fan and watch.
Drax, we're going to take on fire.
Pass.
I would.
You.
You shut up. Anyways, I would say Tyrants. Say Tyrant.
Oh.
That's a landslide. Iron favor.
Next.
We're gonna go to Ray F. Lewis versus Frankie Marinara. Oh, man.
Of course, Frankie Marinara.
Right, she was saying before we went on
We're
it.
not counting himself.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis. Yeah.
I'm not worried fighting.
Matt?
Frankie likes you.
Ooh, even blowing at you with it. Ryan?
Still a win.
So wait.
Ray Lewis.
I think getting kicked out.
Sure.
I love that idea.
All right, Dave. Come on, Dave.
I'm gonna have to go with Frankie.
Well, you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna go with Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you got? Who you got? Who you got? Come on.
Come on. Frankie's my guy.
Frankie. You got.
Go on, Frank.
Yeah. You,
Well, he's got to
you obviously got Ray Lewis. Okay.
I mean, without me voting, I think it's pretty down the middle.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, next match.
Ivy Platinum versus Francesca Genie.
Francesca Genie!
Fred.
You.
Of course it's me.
You sure? Final answer. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna say
Tommy, Francesca, or Ivy Platinum? Oh, I love the drinks. I love it.
Right.
Leading the witness again. Stop it.
I had to think.
Exactly. He's right.
Not wrong.
Matt?
I had to think of as a fan perspective.
Fran!
Fan or Fran?
I said Fran!
You said fan.
I mean,
Shut up.
I'm gonna say
Fran.
Fran.
Hi, Fran.
all right. So actually, that's a unanimous. That's unanimous. Damn, Frank. Next,
We have a
Unless Goldstein gets involved.
We're gonna go with Charlie Bonford versus Dirtbag Dan versus James Time for the Hardcore Jam.
so before we start the round of who's gonna win, had your family made preparations for your cousin homie?
Damn. Sorry.
James will be after this.
Okay.
All right, Fran.
Who you got?
Bonifer, who you got? Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to him. Punch him in the mouth if he talks again.
Yes.
Whoa!
Okay, it's a school vote for James.
If he put Matt on there, okay.
He's got a 66.
All right, Matt. Who you got? Ryan.
Bonford. Dirtbag Dan.
Bonifer.
Comfort. They're back.
GG Allen of professional wrestling, Mr. Dirtbag Dan himself.
I'll go with Uncle Bon.
Ooh. Okay. Next.
We have a false count anywhere match. Big Coop versus Joey Angelo.
All right.
You're gonna end in a no contest. All thing you don't know how to stop.
Well,
I said it last week, and I'll say it this week.
fucking dick rats.
No.
Randy, who you got?
Joey Angelo or Big Coop?
Is that a question?
Yes, it is. Clearly. Really? I thought you said, who is Joey Angelo? Listen,
I'm gonna beat both of you at the same
all right, all right, shush.
The most hardcore.
So, Coop,
person I
you
know.
don't
never watch my matches.
All right, Cooper.
There-
Dip it. Tommy, who you got? Cooper, the guy who's been leading you talk this whole time, or Joey Angelo?
Think real hard.
Ah,
Man.
That's all
all right, your turn, Matt. Your turn, Matt. All right, Angelo, Ryan.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Man, it's a hard decision.
Ah,
Wow.
ah.
You had to think
Oh, that's for nothing.
What the hell? Drax don't need it.
I really got some.
Whoa.
I got my danger. Oh, come on.
It's just like Spider-Man just
I'm just waiting for when the can do it. Like,
cheers.
Clean.
Clean up
I'm happy with it.
No. This is just.
hold my hair.
Oh,
Why do these pictures be fucking
What
right
is
now?
this about?
Oh my god.
I got a spot.
No, you know what? Cooper, your wife called like you don't want to believe where he was.
Was it?
prank or something?
We do that.
Why? I hate your friends. Stop it. So
It smells.
It smells terrible.
Oh, somebody got the handle.
You got it on the bell. Oh no. Oh, yeah, man.
You're so animated.
No, I
Why
blew
you
up
so
the
loud?
candle.
You got it on the bell, man.
Yeah, no, my.
So does that mean the bell's getting the wind? The dude, it's like string cheese.
Torture right now. Daddy doesn't need the bell.
You idiots.
We were on Cooper versus Angelo.
What do you got?
Yeah, what do you got?
Angelo.
What do you got?
I haven't seen it all format.
Really?
What do you got?
I got Angelo.
What do you got? Cool. What do you got? Okay. I think I got.
We have the intergender tag team championship.
Me and my sister.
Morning Stars versus the Spiral.
Ooh. Who you got, Coop?
I've seen Angelo work, Angelo's work.
What? Who you got?
Spirals, I've seen him work.
Wow, it did right apart.
Morning Stars and Spirals.
Morning shots.
Matt. Spiral.
Morning Stars.
Morning Stars.
Oh my God.
Morning Stars.
Stop it.
Hey man, us immortal people gotta stick together. Us immortal people gotta stick together. So, yeah.
You be deal with it. Who you got, Draxy?
Me and this guy. Us immortal people gotta stick together. Yay!
Okay.
I'm a stone globe now.
I'm not here.
I need to be ready for things.
If
And
you watched the
Angelo-
radio show, then you would have known we did this every week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been gone for 6 months. Okay.
Hey, what do you got? Morning
But
Stars.
the radio
Spiral.
show's still online.
Radio show's been.
You're getting cold. Like, what do you got? Morning Stars or
Nice.
Okay.
For this guy.
Please.
I think we just have to Golden Spirals. Your turn. What about you, Franny? Morning Stars or Spirals? Or string cheese? All right, next one.
We have a huge match between Mike Goldstein versus newly debuted on AW Adrian Reno.
I got Mike.
Right, Goldstein.
Mike Goldstein.
Yes. Oh. Don't see.
We don't know this, you guys, so I'm gonna go with Golden State.
Okay.
You got
You got me. Matt Wolf.
Oh, God.
Right there. Nope. That's great. That's what we said.
Guys, say something we all understood.
Right. Who you got? Who you got?
I said
Oh, you said Mike?
I said Mike.
Yep. Yeah. Good job.
Single.
Unanimous.
Then we got winner take song Ace Marks
Ace.
versus Brent.
Everyone voting for Ace. Say aye.
Yay.
What?
Yay.
Here's the match. Guys,
All right.
this is the match I want to talk about.
Uh-oh.
The light heavyweight championship match. We have
Ooh.
Bleeding Eagle Air J taking on Jay Evans, who is champion, and also newly added Jay Bougie. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
What the hell does bougie mean?
My God.
Actually, it sounds like a 4G, but here.
Can we go around and see who's gonna?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this, but I actually got to see some of his matches. It's actually like pretty good, but he's not equivalent to RJ.
Whoa.
Who do you all have?
Who you got? Who you got?
Jay.
Which one?
Evans.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever his name is.
The Martin.
Whatever. I don't care what his name is. As long as he kicks his ass.
All right, you, Tom.
You know what you did.
I know what I did.
You deserve it.
Tommy.
Just go for the dominant one.
LJ.
There you go. Good one. Matt. Ryan.
The Martin.
You got it?
I'm going with Airtech. Jay don't show up.
Ooh.
When you're at top tier talent like him, you show up.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? Who do I
Well,
got? Who do I got? You know what?
You watch CTS, you can see it all the time.
Who do I got? I got. You know, what? I'm gonna go with Airjack.
Jay went.
Well, I think it's like, well, what happened?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the.
How are you gonna go against the
Like,
Packers?
Yeah. Well, either, everyone's seeing that though, right?
Yeah.
Good.
I have a strong feeling. I have a strong feeling that RJ, you may pick up the win, but if you walk into that show with that self doubt in your mind, do not think that Bougie is not going to pick up that slip up.
Mm-hmm. Now, so Jacob, you said Jake.
I'm right next to the
Ooh, we got a lot of people.
What are you doing? I want to know is what are you doing? Sorry about that. What are you doing in preparation for this match?
Environment.
I mean, every week, every Saturday, I work out. Going because I'm back. We're gone for 6 months. I've been going with myself lately. Now since I'm back here in productive, here to show that.
Yeah.
So what's your mindset now, knowing that Jay Bougie just added to the match?
Hey, Boozy, never heard of the guy, but I've heard that he wrestles, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in the ring.
Jay Bougie.
But
Just because you're not Bougie.
from my experience is I honestly think though with that attitude going into there wanting to see what he can do is what's going to cost.
I think, though I've known him a few years, just like Jeremiah has known him a few years. That's why we
I started day one of training. with
yeah.
him.
So something when this is why I'm picking him. I'm not doing this for any match. This is the match why I'm picking him. When he's on, no one can touch him.
I agree.
So you bets be on.
Right?
Yeah,
What I can say is this, don't take up 1 second to doubt this man. He has done things.
See, I don't doubt him. That's why I picked him. But my question is he doubting himself? Is he thinking too lightly of Jay Bougie and Jay Evans?
Not at all.
That's what I want to know. I've shared the ring with Jay the Marquis Evans many times, and I can only say one guy. Once he steps foot, everywhere.
I'm like pulling it on me. It looked never mind.
Oh yeah.
You should have told me this was going to happen.
We didn't know
We didn't know this was gonna happen.
Well, someone told me. Welcome
That happens every
It was
single
gonna be
show.
candy.
Listen, homie.
I was on
It's a surprise attack.
This is your return. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
It's usually candy. What would have been worse?
It's usually not this clean, yeah.
Thank God it's not water.
Thank God.
It was candy.
But you know,
All in all, this is a stacked card.
this card's very stacked
This
with
is
a lot of
good show,
surprises.
guys. A lot of returns to LTW, a lot of new faces in LTW.
A lot of silly string in LTW.
What I want to know is where's Robbie been? Anybody know where Robbie been?
I think he's in that
Mickey Malcolm Alley.
He's always
You know what? Why are these people associated with you that are disappearing?
Where is there's one title match.
Hey, nobody.
Yeah, we are missing the title match, Ryan, and I couldn't agree more for you bringing that up.
What's that?
Who do you think is going to win the pre-show match of me versus Ryan the Destroyer for the WWE WCW Hardcore Championship?
That is way too much. That's
That many letters can't
Well,
put
you
on
couldn't just say 24/7.
Because like that's not
you.
Drax.
because
You. No, you.
I'm cashing in your two.
Why?
See, he's
You know what you did.
You know,
Last summer.
Or
You know what? Yeah, we're missing our two, basically the two heads. We're basing the head of the OGs and the head of the new guys of LTW. That's a great question. Where have they been?
I could have a boy.
That'd be a great match. OGs versus the new G's.
Now,
what about the CBG?
oh no, here's a fun question. Let's see. Where would you say you're an OG? How many years back you gotta be an OG?
Well, LTW is officially 2 years old. So I'd say
You gotta be a year in?
you're in.
All right, so that means, so we're talking about a year in, so there are certain wrestlers who would not be considered OGs. So we have, how long have you been here? So he's like an OG. So here's the fun thing now. Okay, here we go, ready? Let's start, let's build, how long we have? We don't have too long, do we?
We have 5.
Okay, folks, for those who are watching, this is how we gotta know if you're watching. Check out the LTW YouTube page and start building your OG team and your new team. Go Gangsters versus your new Gangsters. Because I think what we're seeing is, especially with this upcoming show, is kind of almost the changing of the guard, because you have a lot of newer people on this show stepping up at LTW. And I already know. But yeah, so let's try that. You've been muted all day. It's not wearing. I don't know. No, let me ask you, Mr. OG, Mr. King of the OGs right here. Do the OGs got that passion anymore? I don't know. I mean,
I know damn well I do.
so what we okay? There's so many things.
Are you an OG?
We have less
Shut your mouth, no one.
Survivor Series.
Book. In the comments below. Tweet at LTW. Instagram us. Facebook us. I want to know your Survivor Series.
Yeah, your Survivor Series team. So
5-on-5?
5-on-5.
Do we have that many?
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we?
When
We
you
got at least 5 OGs.
No, when you're looking at it, if you're going by, with LTW being 2 years old, so you're talking about guys who've been in here a year or more, maybe we'll make a cutoff date. We'll make a cutoff date that classifies you as an OG, one of the new ones. Now, I know.
I got an incentive.
Ooh.
Lee and I will go through your teams, and if you're in the tri-state area for November 12th, and we like your teams, you will get 2 free tickets to the LTW show.
100%. There you go. Make up your own teams. Me and him, we talk almost every day. So yeah, so this will happen. And to our boss, Sis.
You got a problem?
You gamble? No. You know what? That's it. And you know what? If we really like this, if this is a really good thing, I say we take it to Robbie and Nikki and see what they want to do. Hey, folks, you got some free tickets and you might book yourself a show.
Make sure we go live. Beat that too.
Oh,
We will go live.
yeah, this might not even be in the radio show. This could be at somebody's house, in a parking lot.
This is why you always got to tune in to the LTW Live on YouTube.
A dock.
Okay.
The woods.
That wasn't gonna say.
You're missing Robbie's missing the title.
All right, Robbie, listen up. If you're watching, book Ryan on the show so he can defend himself.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, Ryan.
I mean, right?
Well, we're at the end of our road, brother.
So many ways.
We're not
Well,
having anyone.
seriously, guys, jump up, be a part of the show November 12th. It's going to be a fantastic show. Get those pre-sales in.
Feast or Fight. Yes, your Survivor Series teams in
Oh,
ASAP.
yep.
I'd say the deadline should be what? Give us 6. We'll give them 3 days. We got 3 days.
3 days. Let's see how punctual some of you people. What do you want?
Why not 5 days? 5. Is this the Jeremiah show?
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, Father.
That's your.
Thank God.
You're welcome.
All right, so folks, get your teams up. We'll give, like I said, if we like your teams, we will get you 2 free tickets to the show. And then that's it.
We will go live on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We will be live on Thursday. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you're tuned in to LTW Live on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We are everywhere.
I mean, everywhere.
And that's all we got for today. So thank you. Make sure you tune in next time.
Everyone say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.